Hi superstars, I'm Cali-Jāz and welcome to my channel, dedicated to helping you craft the life of your dreams. Welcome to day 20 of this 21-day positivity challenge. I'm so happy you're here with me today. If you're just starting out with me, I recommend you go back to day 1 and start there. I'll leave a link to day 1 in the description below. And if you've been with me so far, welcome back. We are at day 20. It's so exciting that we've almost finished this challenge. And I'm so thankful that you're here. I can't wait to share today's day with you. But before we do that, let's do a quick recap of day 19. So how was it yesterday with your word? Were you impeccable? Did you notice that you had sometimes a tendency to say things that were maybe not in alignment with the reality you want to create? Did you notice that it's pretty common to engage in negative dialogue, to say things that maybe aren't the total truth, to not speak with integrity? Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a little insight into how powerful your words are, and I hope it gave you the inspiration and desire to work on this. I recommend it. It's an amazing way to transform your life. If you can be impeccable with your word, you can manifest whatever life you desire. So let's get into day 20. Day 20, I'm calling expecting the best. Expecting the best. And what this means is this is specifically in relationship to your relationship with other people. And I just want to talk a little bit about, it's so typical, it's so easy to focus on what's wrong in a situation. It's our natural tendency. We all do it. It's normal. But especially with the people in our lives, it's so typical to notice the things that they're doing that you don't like, as opposed to noticing the things they're doing that you do like. And so we had a day a while back of looking for the beauty. And that was all about just whatever situation you found yourself in, really paying attention to where can I put my attention that's going to lift me up the most, bring me the most joy in the situation. And today's similar, except what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the people that we're around and expecting the best out of them. A lot of times we expect the worst out of someone. We get into these habits with people and we always show up the same way with the same person, and we kind of have an expectation before we're even with this person or when we are with this person of how they're going to behave. And the brain likes this because our brains like to predict, what can I expect here? And so our brains are constantly like using our history, what's happened in the past, to sort of map out this prediction of what's going to happen in the future. And so we expect what's going to happen. And I talked about expectation theory before. But then when you do this and you have this expectation, well, you're vibrating in a frequency that's going to attract what you are expecting. It's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you really do get what you expect. But if you change your expectations, do you get something different? You do. This is my theory. I've tried it and it definitely works. If you expect the best out of people, the people in your life, they really do show up that way. So today is all about really putting your attention on what is the best version of this person I can imagine? What is the best version what can I expect that would be the best version of them? And then looking for signs that validate that. And so when we make the assumption that everyone is doing their best, when we make this assumption, it's sort of like a foundation of your way of interacting with people today. Assume that everyone's doing their best. And when you do that, you open the door for really being able to show up in a new way with the people around you. And I really do believe that everyone is always doing their best. I mean, if you think back over your lifetime, was there ever a day you woke up in the morning and said, today I just want to do the job I can? I don't know if I'm allowed to say Okay. If you look back over your life, do you ever remember a time that you woke up in the morning and said, I think I'm going to try to be the worst version of myself that I can today. I think I'm going to just be grumpy and try to be a jerk to everyone. And I think I'm just going to try to just see how much how much bad energy I can spread around the world. I don't think you've ever done it. And I don't think anyone's ever done it, because people really want to do their best. Everyone really does want to show up and do an amazing job all day long of being themselves. And so what gets in the way of this is a lot of times our expectations of ourselves are maybe out of alignment with what our energy allows us in the day, or circumstances that are happening, or other people's expectations of us. There's so much that's going on, all these vibrations, all these different ones coming together and creating the reality of the moment. But when you have the assumption that everyone's doing their best, you can really let people off the hook. And when you let people off the hook and you shine your warm sunshine energy on them, saying, I know you're doing your best, and if this is the best you have right now, then it's good enough for me, and I'm going to love you, and maybe I'm going to even try to step up and fill in where I can be helpful. Because when you do that, when you, instead of directing judgment or criticism or negative energy at someone, when they're not showing up in a way that's pleasing to you, when you shine love there, when you give more love to that, you actually shift the energy. You raise the vibration, not only of you, but of this other person, of the moment, of the energy, of the dynamic, of the connection. And when you raise the vibration of that, they can't help but raise up their vibration as well. It's so beautiful. So you just assume that everyone's doing their best, and then you do your best to try to raise the vibration in any interaction that doesn't feel good to you. So then how do you handle situations where someone's behavior is not so pleasing to you, maybe even bringing you down? Okay, so we talked about, disengaging from negative situations in a prior day. But today, instead of disengaging, what you're going to do is you're going to take the full responsibility for your response in these situations. And so one of the things that's really helpful for me when I'm dealing with situations like this is a formula from Jack Canfield's Success Principles. And it says, event plus response equals outcome. So event plus response equals outcome. Events are out of your control. They happen. Things happen. People happen. Interactions happen. Stuff happens. And then, so you have the event, and then you have your response to that event. And that response to the event is 100% in your hands. You have 100% control over your response to any situation. And if you take the event plus your response and you put those together, you get the outcome. And the outcome is going to either be something that is pleasing to you or not. But you do have the power to transform any situation, any event, by the way you deal with it. And so, in your day-to-day life, you're going to encounter people that are going to show up in whatever way they show up. And it's how you respond to them that really is going to affect your reality. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say that this actually did happen to me. I was at a restaurant eating, and we had gone there really wanting to have this great experience. And we got a waitress that was just not having a great day. She was pretty grumpy from the beginning. And it just seemed like all the things were kind of just falling apart. We noticed her grumpiness and we were like, oh, great. And then sort of putting a lot of attention on how we were not expecting to get a great service or a great meal out of it. And then some orders were wrong. And it ended up going downhill pretty quickly. And then I said, let's play this game. Let's see if we can turn this around. So what we want to do here is let's expect that she's doing the best. The cook's doing their best. The restaurant's doing their best. And let's just imagine that all of this is happening because, there's all these other factors, but how do we want to respond to it? And so what we did is the next time she came to the table, we just told her, you know what? We really appreciate the hard work that you're doing. We could see that you're running around, working so hard. You guys are so busy. I know that there's been these errors with the food, but we just want to tell you we appreciate so much how hard you're working to do this. And you must be I hope you get a day off or some special bonus for all of this because you really deserve it. And her face and energy just shifted so much when we said that. We really just shined our sunshine energy on her. And we all just said, it's no big deal. This food is delicious. We're all here together. We're having a great time. Let's make the best of this experience. Let's make this experience memorable. And so we did that, and suddenly everything started changing. She came out and she said, "Hey, I got you this meal. We weren't even going to send it back. She brought us this, brought us some other things, and to make up for it." And she told us how much she appreciated our patience. And then I went out of my way to go and talk to the manager, and I said, "Hey, I just want to say that this person, she worked so hard to take care of us, even though all these things were happening, and you guys must be really busy. And I just want to say that I know it's hard to run a restaurant, but I really appreciate your efforts." And then we left her a bigger than usual tip. Instead of leaving her less of a tip, we left her a bigger tip. And we even wrote on the ticket, "We hope your day goes great. And we hope, it turns around for you." We left her a smiley face and told her again, "Thanks so much." And I promise you, it affected every other customer she had that day. Our ability to change our response, not respond in the regular way, not meeting negativity or bad energy with bad energy, but meeting it with positive energy. We really transformed that whole situation. And honestly, I really do believe she was doing her best in that moment. She was probably having a really stressed day. She didn't have the emotional energy to give us. She was in her own world, her own mind, her own problems, her own struggles. And when you show compassion to someone when they are in that place, when you show love and you shine your love and your good expectations and knowing they're doing their best on them, they really do. It does transform the energy. She was able to see a new version of herself through us. We gave her the opportunity to see that, she was appreciated and that she could turn it around. And so it's so powerful when you can do this. And so one of the things I like to do whenever I feel like someone's not doing their best and I want to shine my judgment on them, what I try to do is to remind myself they are doing their best. And when I want to give them less love, I'm going to actually give them more love. So a lot of times when people do things we feel like to us, then we want to withdraw our love, our warm attention, our acceptance, our good vibes. We want to take that away. But if you can turn it around and instead of taking it away, giving more. So you do the opposite. It's transformative. And it really is a way for you in that moment, the minute you decide, I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to give more than what I want to give. I'm going to give more than I would have given if they would have just shown up the way I would have liked them to show up. Usually you really do transform the situation and not only just bring the vibration up, but really raise it up several notches. And so that's something that I love to do is when you feel like giving less love, give more. And I hope you'll try that. And then I always try to remind myself that the way someone else is treating me is a reflection of how they're feeling about themselves. It really has nothing to do with me. So a lot of times we take things personally, but you don't have to. You can recognize that the way this person is acting, it's coming from inside of them. It's a reflection of what's going on inside of them. And I would love to contribute to their vibration, more love, more acceptance, more understanding, more empathy, and more positivity. Because I can always do that. Of course, if I'm resourced, okay, maybe I can't always do it. But when you notice and you can do it, it's a way to be transformational. And so the mantra for today is, I choose to see the best in others. I choose to see the best in others. And this reminds me of a story I'll tell you about my father. One time I was having a difficult time with a friend of mine, and I was sort of frustrated with her and complaining about her and pointing out all the things she does that I don't like, and just sort of rolling in this pile of negativity about her and really just not appreciating anything about her at all. And my father said to me, "If you look for the bad in someone, you'll always find it." And then he was just quiet, and I was quiet thinking about this. And then he added, "And if you look for the good, you can always find that as well." And it was really a moment of where it hit me in that moment so deeply. And I realized how right he was. And I realized that it's true. We can always see either the good or the bad. They're both always there. I say good or bad in quotes because, as I've mentioned, I don't think of things really as in good and bad, but you know what I mean. So it really made me realize, like, what do I want to see when I'm looking at this person? What part of them do I want to see? What part of them do I want to reflect back to them? Which reminds me of another quote that I love so much, which is, I'm not who you think I am. You're who you think I am. And you can think about that one for a while. That one always, every time I think about it, it's sort of just, it's amazing. I love it because it's so true. Because when you're looking at someone and you're analyzing what they're doing and making an assessment of, is it good or bad? It really is just a reflection of you looking in the mirror at yourself. And so your challenge for today is to expect the best in others, to assume that they're doing their best, and to look for ways to validate that assumption. And then to reflect the change you'd like to see in others. So if you'd like to have more love from someone, then give them more love. If you'd like more respect, give more respect. If you'd like more honesty, more patience, more kindness, then you give those things first. And when you do that, when you set the example, when you activate that vibrational energy in you of love or respect or kindness, and you send that and project that outward, what you give always comes back to you. So it's sort of that, be the change you want to see in the world. So that brings us to the end of today. I want to thank you so much for being here. I hope you'll try this. I hope you'll have the best day ever, projecting this beautiful, high expectation energy on the people around you and seeing all the beauty that's there to be seen. And also feeling the power of your response. You really can transform your day-to-day life by choosing how you want to respond to the events that happen to you. So I hope to see you here tomorrow for our final day, day 21 of this positivity challenge. And until then, I'm wishing you big love as always, and I'll see you here tomorrow.